Good morning. I woke up this morning and I started writing, and I feel like what I was writing I meant to share. I don't think it was just for me. So I had a crazy dream last night, and I used to have a caravan, and in this dream I was in my caravan and I'd made a new friend and we were spending lots of time together, having a really nice time. And then one day I came back to my caravan and like everything had gone. Like literally they'd taken everything and disappeared without a trace, and it was completely trashed. And then I just started reflecting. And this can be representative not just of like material things, but time and energy and just kind of, I don't know, trusting people and then seeing a different side. And yeah, so then I started writing. And the first thing that came through was the less you have, the less people can take from you in the material world. You will always have your energy and your love, and you can be abundant in so many ways. But the less material things you have, the less people can take from you. So if you have nothing, there's nothing that anyone can take. And yeah, when you only have love to offer people, then sometimes things change. When you follow your own path, not everyone will understand. This goes off on quite a lot of tangents. And not everyone will like it when you do what's right for you. But you can't live your whole life entirely for other people, I believe. And it comes up in my mind a lot, the regrets of the dying, the 5 regrets of the dying that were written by Bonnie Ware, a palliative care nurse. And the top one was, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. And I think about this a lot because in truth, you'd like burst your eardrums. I think about this a lot because in truth, we never actually really know what anyone else expects of us. We have ideas about what we think people expect of us, but we don't actually know. So maybe we're creating this idea that people have expectations of us and trying to live up to those expectations, but they're just totally fabricated in our own minds, maybe. And yeah, and when we walk our own path, some people will stand beside us and others won't. And that's okay. When you step into who you are, then you change. And some people embrace that change and love that you're kind of doing things for you, and other people won't. And you may feel that you've changed really gradually, but you know, if you don't see people for a while, then to them it may be a big shock that suddenly you're different, and you don't really feel that different because it's been a really gradual process. So I think it's always worth kind of holding space for people who haven't been with us every step of the way, who just see the different us, because it can be really, really hard. And that's something I reflect on a lot, especially because I go away a lot and then I come back and I feel very different. But to the people that haven't seen me while I've been away, I'm the same person, but inside I feel different. And I think other people will relate to this. Particularly if you've been a people pleaser your whole life and then you're not, and you start to set boundaries and stand up for yourself and say no when you mean no, then you know that can be hard for people because that's not who you've been. And suddenly you're this different person, and they don't necessarily, like's a bad word, but it's not necessarily who they want you to be in their life at that time. Oh wow, this is really long. Some people will motorbike. Some people will stay in your life for a page, even a sentence, and some people a chapter, and some people will be there for the whole book. Some people will cheer you on, some people will be triggered by you. Some will speak words of love, and others not so much. Some people will praise you and call you brave, and others will criticize you. When you exit the matrix of living in a society manipulated by media and controlled by fear, when you challenge normal, when you walk away from wanting more and consumerism. And this comes up a lot for me at Christmas. I've always found Christmas quite difficult, the excess at Christmas. People buy things that they don't need with money that they don't have. And, you know, giving gifts but on credit as a way of showing love. But love is love. It doesn't have a price, and it isn't a present. It's not a gift in terms of a physical, material gift. It just is. Love is love. And if you love someone, if they see that, if they truly see and feel your love, then material things don't matter. Yeah, and the whole concept of time and distance is an illusion, particularly when it comes to love, because love crosses all barriers. Time, distance, it's always there, and it's not just for one day. And then we can also love people who choose to turn away from us. We can hold them in our hearts with kindness and give them the space they need if they don't resonate or gel with us at that time. We don't have to fight to keep people in our lives if they don't want to be there. And that can be really hard sometimes to accept. But if you have to change who you are, walk on eggshells, be somebody different to keep someone in your life, then maybe they're not meant to be there. And whatever we do, I believe that someone else's reaction is a reflection of them. I mean, obviously, if you're like really mean and horrible to somebody and they get upset, then that's on you. But if you're just living your life and other people don't like it, then their reaction is a reflection of what's going on in their world. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about that. We have no control over anybody else. We arrive in this world and all we have is love. And when we leave, it's the same. We can't take stuff with us. And somebody very close to me recently passed away. And I know that they believed that death wasn't the end. And I sat and I looked at all of the stuff that they'd accumulated over the years. And I just thought, who does this belong to now? It doesn't belong to anybody. It's just stuff. What mattered to me is that at the end of the day, they felt love. That was what I had to offer, and yeah. And for me as well, the concept of death not being the end is really comforting. And knowing that they're at peace now. And I've watched a lot of near-death experiences. There's loads of stuff on the internet about this, and I find it really fascinating because a lot of them are very similar. And I could talk about DMT now. I'm not going to go into detail, but there's evidence that DMT is released around the time of death, and some experiences people have with DMT sound quite similar to near-death experiences. But not everybody, but the vast majority of near-death experiences that I've listened to, people describe having this feeling of unconditional love and no pain, no suffering, just love. All they feel is love. And some people say they're given the choice to come back or not. And a lot of them say they feel at home. They feel like that space that they enter is home. And I believe that death is not the end, that this life is preparing us for the next part of our journey. And not specific to any religion, but a lot of religions have a similar take. Similar ideas, just different labels, I guess, for the same thing. But what I reflect on also is that while love and peace, pure love and peace, are part of the next part of our journey, we lose everything it is to be human. And to be human is to feel love and loss and joy and pain, to touch, to taste, to smell, all of the senses that we have as humans. Although all we will feel is pure love and peace, we lose all of the senses that we have. So I feel that to be human, although at times it can be extremely challenging, it's actually a huge gift that we get to experience this. And then again, the whole thing came up again about whatever you do in life, some people will praise and support you. Ooh, the dogs. Some people will praise and support you, and others will be triggered. And there's a whole spectrum in between. It's not just like one thing or the other. There's a whole spectrum. And also it can fluctuate. Like one day they can be really happy for you, and the next day they can feel, I don't know, less happy. Everything always fluctuates. Nothing is static and nothing is linear. Everything's always changing. So, and you also may notice these feelings in yourself about other people. And I think it's really important that when something triggers you or activates something inside you, that you sit with that feeling and you try to understand why. Like, what is it about that person and what they're doing is causing something in you to feel incomplete in some way? like something that you need to heal. What is it? Can you look at yourself? Oh, the dogs. So that was the dogs. They just knocked my camera over. Someone's barking outside, so they're off again. So when something triggers you, can you pause and ask yourself what it is that needs to be healed? Can you look at yourself in a mirror and see the role that you play in a situation? And not to beat yourself up, but to learn and to grow. Can you love yourself when you fuck up? Excuse my language. Can you see yourself and understand that you're doing the best that you can? And can you hold space for that? Everything in life happens for a reason. And sometimes maybe we feel stuck. I'm almost finished. Because we're not ready for the next part. Perhaps something else has to happen to unlock the next level, for want of a better word. And it's only when you're on the other side of something that you can look back and realise that these things had to happen in a certain way in order for you to be ready for that next step of the journey. And sometimes delays are actually divine interventions. So I think that now, if I'm running late for something, if I get stuck in traffic, or the bus is late or whatever, then maybe it's for a reason. If I miss the bus, maybe if I'd got on that bus, something would have happened. Or maybe if I get on this bus, something will happen. And so instead of being annoyed and frustrated by delays, I like to think of them as divine interventions. The universe is protecting and guiding us, giving space to ensure that we choose that the next step at that time is right. Although it's never the wrong time, I believe this. It's both never the right and never the wrong time. Even if you don't feel ready, you are. You just have to start to believe it. And then I always come back to Rumi's thing, that as you walk the way, the path appears, although I probably misquote it slightly. But when you start doing the things that you love, then opportunities open up. And until you step into that version of yourself, then those opportunities aren't there. If you're living a life that's totally out of alignment with who you want to be, then these opportunities won't present to you. But if you embrace who you want to be and start living a life more in alignment with who that is, suddenly all these opportunities start to appear. You unlock the next level, the door. And sometimes we have to create these opportunities ourselves. So I know years ago I really wanted to get into the kind of festival world, and I ran a small festival for a few years, and that introduced me to so many amazing people and opened so many doors for me, because I was starting to do things that resonated with me. And then suddenly all these other opportunities opened up, and life changed. So, follow your heart and your intuition. My final message. Live a life full of love, without attachment, without expectations. Free yourself from the constraints of fear. On the other side of fear lies freedom. Free yourself from the matrix and step into who you want to be in your soul. Sending you so much love, and if you listen to all of that, thank you. Maybe pop a little heart if it resonated. I know it was long, but I just felt like some of those messages weren't just for me, so I really wanted to share them. And maybe one person will listen to this and something will resonate. Maybe no one. Maybe 1 million people will listen. But it doesn't matter. I truly believe that whoever's meant to hear it will. And he's resonating at the same vibration as me. Anyway, thank you for being here. I decided also to pull a few cards. So from 2 decks, the Starseed Oracle and Work Your Light Oracle. Both are Rebecca Campbell. I really like them because they're nice colours. I also have a tarot deck, but I always feel it's quite dark and I don't feel professional enough to read tarot cards. So the first card, the bottom of the deck, was transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. And I believe that this is happening on a planetary level. I don't think it's just an individual level. I think there's a lot of healing going on in the world right now. And then, align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? So can you reflect on your life and work out what it is that doesn't sit right with you now? maybe old habits or old ways that don't kind of fit into who you want to be and who you're becoming. What is not aligned or needs to change. And then get grounded from the first deck. So yeah, just a reminder that nature, I came down here to sit and to read because I always feel more kind of connected to spirit and the universe when I'm in nature. And I've not been walking so much here for lots of reasons, but I like to be in this part of the garden, and being in nature is so calming and so healing. And if you're really empathic, if you have a lot of quite powerful emotions, then being in nature barefoot, sitting on the grass, touching the grass, hugging a tree can be really, really grounding and really help balance your energy. And then the next deck, the first one that came out is, the one that came out at Customs. You're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness, face your true north. And that's kind of why I'm doing this, because this is who I am. And I ask you to reflect on who are you? Who are you? And, what is normal? Normal is our perception based on what we've seen around us our whole lives. So your idea of normal and somebody else's idea of normal in a different country, in a different place, may be very, very different. So, yeah, just be you. Embrace who you are and stand in your truth. Drop the mask. Little by little. Okay. The next one, perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. So I always really like this card about perspective and nothing mattering, because it's so true that things only matter if we allow them to. If we allow our emotions to be controlled by outside events, that's a choice. We're choosing that. And I'm not belittling what anyone's going through in the world, but sort of in the grand scheme of things, if somebody doesn't like you, it only matters if you let it. A new earth. I strongly believe this. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. I strongly believe this, that the earth is changing, it's healing. Humans are healing, the planet is healing, and it's very much needed. So stay in your authenticity, stay in your frequency. And yeah. And then the last one that I pulled, you got the love. Codependency and boundaries. So love is love is love is love. But love is not codependency. Love allows you to be free. So if somebody loves you, if somebody truly unconditionally loves you, then they allow you to be free. So boundaries are really important. And I've said this lots of times, but if you start stepping into who you are and you start setting boundaries, that will trigger some people. They won't like it. But it's important that you hold your boundaries strong if it's important to you, in order to become who you want to be. Every time we drop a boundary to people please, to be liked, then we lose a part of ourselves. And my little dog friends come back. That's it for now. Skungo, say hello. He's come to say hello. He wants my coffee. Anyway, have a wonderful day, whatever you're doing. And if you listen to all of this as well, thank you. It's something I really want to do more of. And I haven't been because I felt like I might be judged for it by people who knew the old version of me, the masked version. So, yeah. Dropping even more masks, little by little, one day at a time. Sending you so much love again, and thank you.